Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live audit with myself and Mr. Itamar Blauer. We had a week off last week as Itamar was busy traveling and enjoying a well-deserved break. But we are back this week and looking to give you some feedback on your website. So if you've got websites out there that you want us to take a look at and give you some feedback, whether it's from a visual point of view, SEO point of view, or whatever point of view you want us to have a look at, let us know in the live chat and we will give you feedback on those websites. Also, I'm close to 43,000 subscribers. So make sure you do share, like, comment, and try and get me to that 43,000, man. But also, Itamar is growing, and we do have his link in the live chat and in the first comment if you want to give him some love as well. So give us some love, guys. It's much appreciated. But over and above the love, it's good to see Ryan Houghton here.
Hey, Ryan.
Looking for Tommy Finnan to appear. He didn't appear yesterday. Farquan Hyder, good to see you. Mr. Naga, the first viewer. But we'll give it a minute or two just to allow people to come in. But yeah, if you've got sites there and you want us to put to have a look at them, please put them in the live chat. If it doesn't allow you to put in the actual domain name, just put in, thedomain.com as in spell it out, and we will have a look at it. We've also got a Facebook user saying, hi this good to see you, whoever you are. And Mr. Matt Zagic, or Zagak. This guy's a legend. This guy drinks pints for his breakfast and everything. Matt, he's just a crazy guy. Web developer, top lads, but a guy that can probably outdrink anyone that I've ever known. So good to see you here, Matt. But Itamar, while we're waiting on people to stick their websites in the live chat, anything else been happening other than your holiday? Anything exciting?
I feel like I need to start preparing exciting things to tell you because I don't know, apart from just being away for a little bit, not much. I mean, we're still, the UK is still a bit, uncertain. I know Aberdeen, that's not far from you, Craig. That's gone back to lockdown, hasn't it?
They're in lockdown. Apparently, Preston in the UK is also going into lockdown, which is near Manchester. Which is near where Matt is. So I think when the schools go back, the Scottish schools are going back next week. And I think, obviously, the schools going back, university students flying back into Glasgow, there's 50,000 of them. I think we're going to see an increase in potentially, fingers crossed we don't, but it's looking like we're going to have more problems, sadly, with this stupid virus, but yeah, we've just got to keep working around it, and hopefully the kind of figures start going back down, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I suppose no one really knows, and there's been a lot of crap going on, hasn't there? Like with Lebanon as well, and the explosion in Beirut, which is a massive shock. So it's quite sad to hear.
Madness. Mr. Tommy Finnan, though, is here. Tommy, what the fuck happened to you yesterday, man? I was looking for you, and he didn't appear. Everywhere Ryan goes, Tommy goes, or vice versa. In fact, answer this. Who follows who? Who is the leader in that gang? But guys, we are here to audit websites. We are 4 minutes in. We're ready to audit. So give us some websites. Otherwise, we're going to pull up Itamar's and we'll laugh at his. But give us your websites, anything you want feedback on, anything you want us to take a look at, whether it's a page, a website, whatever. Put it in the live chat, guys, and we will have a look at it and give you our opinions. And Tommy Finnan is saying that Ryan follows him. I'm sure Ryan will have something to say about that. But Ryan, I've got to side with you. You are here first, so yeah. So anyway, Manish Rawat, we're here to audit some websites live. So guys, give us some websites to audit. Itamar, let's look at your website. Where are you at? I know it's a new project and stuff like that, but do you want to pull up your website and we'll have a look at it and just talk through some of the things that you're going to implement on your website, things that are maybe not there at the moment, because obviously you're starting out, and obviously when anyone starts out, it's a job in progress. You put something up there to get your name out there and get live. But let's have a look at your website and see where it's at, because I've not seen it for several weeks, and I think it's a good website to start with while we're waiting on other people sticking their websites in the chat. We can have a look at your website and basically find out what your plans are in terms of
no problem
for developments.
No problem. Yeah, there were some changes that I did make a couple of weeks back, so I can just kind of talk you guys through, I suppose, what my plans were and are. So I'll share my screen and kind of show you. So this is the homepage, and I did change this CTA button because it was like a contact me kind of thing, but I kind of wanted it to be a bit more, provide a bit more context. So I changed that there. So when you go on that, I embedded a Calendly widget here, so people can quickly schedule a call with me and set that up. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I've done. But going down, the only other things that have changed are these two bits of text. Here, I just had to add some more content onto this homepage, looking at competition, X, Y, and Z. And I decided to embed the GMB map into here as well. So that's the kind of main changes I've done. But go ahead, Craig. You can, blast the hell out of it, or, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's certainly, when you had the Rock Yeti website, it's certainly a lot cleaner and a lot more professional, I think, with your name, your face, rather than the Rock Yeti look. But I think, having the as featured in obviously buys trust. And I like the personal touch on the homepage as well, where you've got a picture of you and a bit about what you do. Quite similar to, I'm not saying it's similar in layout to my homepage, but I wanted to have me on my homepage and give people a bit about me, and then obviously some links to recent posts, I think, to demonstrate that you're up to date and knowledgeable. I'm not sure I would target SEO Consultancy London with the homepage. I think that's probably, I mean, you can and you can't. I would probably have a page independently for that. To be honest, I just think your homepage is a page where you're going to rank for your own brand and have links to your social media and, as featured in and all that kind of stuff. And then potentially, have pages that target SEO Consultant London or SEO Audits or any of the other services that you're going to do. And I'm guessing that obviously you've got your home, about, and blog, but you're going to be adding more services anyway. So, why not put up a services tab up there and have like SEO Consultant, SEO Audits, whatever else that you feel is important in terms of having pages for. I just think I made the mistake of previously trying to rank my blog for SEO Glasgow, and when I tried to shift it to an inner page further down the line, it was really fucking hard to get that inner page to stick and rank. So I think, just a bit of feedback on that. I would keep your homepage for your brand and everything else, and have a dedicated page that you optimize the hell out of, and you know, keep strictly focused on just SEO consultant London and related search terms. But I think obviously integrating the Calendly thing, which will also integrate with Zoom, is a great touch. You know, that these things just make life easier. So yeah, I think it's certainly progressed a great deal from the Rock Yeti days. Obviously still work to do, lots of more content you can add, and I think that's something even now, you know, I've had my blog for 4 or 5 years. Does it have enough content compared to some of the guys out there? Absolutely not. And that's why if anyone looks at my blog, I am constantly adding new blogs for different keywords, because if you look at some of the top bloggers in our industry and guys that are adding stuff, they literally have thousands of blog posts, not 100, not, you know, 200. I thought I was doing well. I think I've got around about 300 just now, and I'm sitting going, yeah, man, I'm a blogger. I'm a real blogger. Because someone always said to me years ago, if you've got 100 blogs, you can consider yourself a real blogger. And you know, I'm sitting there with 200 or 300 at the time, and then I done some research on a guy that I know, and he literally had 2,000, and I've just felt like, Craig, what have you been doing here? You're just wasting your fucking time. You've only scratched the surface. So that guy, his name's Harsh Agarwal. His website is shoutmeloud.com. He's an Indian fella, and yeah, he is fucking smashing the hell out of it with content, and I think that's really where you all have to be at in terms of whether it's a blog or an e-commerce website or whatever. Just content is king and ongoing. So I've been doing it for 4 years, and I've still got massive gaps. And as I say, you've got to start somewhere. But I think you're doing well, man. It looks good, clean, tidy, easy to navigate. So not too much you can slag off on there.
That's good. I suppose it's a change from the usual Craig slagging off everything that I do on websites. So I'm quite happy with that results. But oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got my Schecter Demon 6 there, Jake. Good to see people liking the guitar wall aesthetic.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of music fans out there, and yeah, these kind of background things are perfect. The guys, if you've not got websites here, what do you want us to talk about for the next 45 minutes? You want to do question and answers if you don't have websites, by all means, but just bash us with questions and answers. If that is what is going to be relevant to this live chat. So put some questions and answers in there if you don't have a website you want us to audit. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh, here we got one. Terry Power. Good to see you, Terry. So I'll let you go first, Itamar. Antimicrobial.
I need to type that in, and hopefully it loads up, which I think it should. Here we go. Okay, I'm just trying to think of what's happening here. Right, so I've just been hit by a couple of, there was like a 302 and then a 301 because I didn't put any of the things here. All right, let me share my screen and we'll get started. Have a feeling this is something that, well, I mean, I've got no idea about antimicrobial protection. I don't know what that is, to be honest with you, but let's just have a look at the homepage here, what we can see right off the bat. And so, I mean, I don't know what this is. I'd assume that people who are going on this site do know what this is. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that there's, well, obviously you've got some content here about, you know, differences in the terminology, things like that. There's a lot going on this homepage. It's quite a beefy homepage in terms of content, and you've got your FAQs down here, a little about section here that's actually clickable but that redirects to the homepage. I don't know if you want to have that. Probably remove that, this clickable element here in that block. But, right off the bat, I mean, it doesn't strike me as a very modern website. And I only say that because of the font. There's just something about the font, like, for example, this kind of font here. And I mean, we've been seeing this kind of font on sites from, over a decade ago. So I think, it doesn't strike me as being, very modern. I suppose, you've got these images here. I mean, do you need this kind of image taking up so much space over here? And obviously these images here, they look like, somebody might have just made this using like Word, Microsoft Word, and just pasting some photos in there from Google. But, like I said, I don't know anything about this type of site, but I thought these would be clickable, these things down here, but they aren't. So I don't really know why they're there. Are these things that you do? I don't know. But let's have just a quick look into let's see about your service pages here. And you've got quite a lot of services here on this drop down. Are people going to be looking at each one of these? I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Obviously, I can see there is thin content, definitely on the services. The one I clicked on in general, it's literally just all of this. Maybe this is 150 words, and then you've got the same kind of footer content as well. Let me just check another page, and yeah, there's a lot of thin content here. You could be better optimizing the content for your service pages. Obviously, if you are trying to rank for these different keywords, and it seems like a common theme. But I've talked quite a lot, but I'm just going to stop. And Craig, please share your thoughts on this site.
So I'm going to have a wild guess here and assume that this website isn't actually finished yet, and it's just been loaded up live, because pretty much the same as give me a second, I'm going.
Did Craig just get kicked away?
I kicked myself out there. I was actually trying to share screen. Jesus. So as you said, Itamar, the stuff down in the footer is obviously something that you'd expect to be clickable, and I'm sure that will become clickable. Mm-hmm. I've had a look at Ahrefs, which is one of the first things I do, just to see, that the website doesn't get any traffic, it doesn't have any major keyword rankings. It's got some, but clearly someone's building backlinks to it just now, but it looks like an old expired domain name that's just been repurposed in at the start of July. And obviously the website, it looks okay. I think what you pointed out there in terms of things that can be improved, 100%. These things can be improved upon, font and some of the images. I think the navigation that you mentioned just looks a bit full on, and could be maybe condensed a little bit just to make it a bit easier in the eye, because it's, I think some stuff's quite easy to miss because it's so long, even on a desktop, and obviously you need links and stuff like that. And I think because I know Terry, I've met Terry in person, and I know he knows what he's doing. So I think, obviously looking at it, it probably is in the thin side of content. He's got his header tags on there, but I'm going to go wild and assume that he's going to pad all that out anyway. And I think that's a job in progress, which I think visually and obviously SEO-wise, it clearly is a job in progress. Obviously, you've started building some links to it. We can see that happening, and I'm sure you build more and go on. And I think some of these kind of niches are great niches to get in, because they're not something that everyone else is familiar with. And as I say, there's not too much to critique with the website, because as I say, I'm guessing that that's a job in progress, and yeah, it will hopefully be resolved, because I know Terry knows his stuff for sure. So yeah, and they're still working on the site. Terry's saying new client, and they're still working on their site. And yeah, I'm sure Terry will sort that out. Tommy Finnan has got a website. So I'm scared to open this one.
I'm typing this into the to the private chat here, just so I can not have to keep going back and forth. But let's try and paste this in. All right.
Garavoguehenstag.ie.
All right, so let me share the screen. And this website is about hen and stag packages for parties. Immediately, it's asking me if I want to continue from Facebook. So I'm just going to continue as guest. And we've got this chatbot here. Quite a big chatbot, to be honest. I mean, I suppose you get onto the homepage, you kind of want to see what's being said. I don't know if that might just take people's attention away. I don't know, but I'll try and... Well, let me end the chat. All right. Oh, what? Okay, so this comes back up. I don't know if it's... Okay, I can minimize it. All right, so looking at the site right off the bat, I mean, you obviously know what you're getting into, I suppose. The image here, this does look like people are having a good time, especially this guy here without the shirt. This guy's having a good time. But yeah, I mean, you know, you kind of know what you're expecting, I suppose. So you've got right off the bat different packages here. So let's just quickly go into one here. So you've got the CTA already here, and you've got a bunch of things to look into. Kind of seems just like a massive kind of category page here. I don't know if you exactly, you know, is somebody going to look at this and then book straight away without knowing what it is that you guys do? I'm not sure. You know, ideally they'd probably read through this, and obviously now you've got the prominent CTAs here. But I mean, yeah, I don't know how much more content you can add to this kind of thing right off the bat. It's something I'd need to think about. And obviously you do have the other CTA at the bottom here, and just more posts really about different things. So you've got just the different, it's just a bunch of pages about, you know, different hen party ideas, just, you know, getting people to be interested, and then that they can kind of inquire. So I'm just going to click here just to see what this is like. So yeah, you've got your contact form there. It's quite, you know, comprehensive. There's a lot of options here, so it's quite well thought out. But you know, I quite like it. I like the design of it. I think that the kind of color scheme you've got really suits the type of, you know, site that it is. I suppose you want it to be fun. Obviously, you've got how it works and all that kind of stuff. These testimonials are a bit hard to read, so maybe consider changing the colors on that. Maybe if you can add a face to it, it'll be better. Just, you know, you've just got first names there. Somebody might think it's fake. I mean, you've got, I don't know how many of these you have, but other than that, obviously, you've got the embed here of the map and a little contact form. But, you know, the site's all right. Let me just see if these links work at the footer, which they appear to do. So, yeah, I think I quite like this site. It's quite a fun little site. What do you think, Craig?
Yeah, I think obviously first on the color scheme, Matt, I've put up on the screen there. He thinks the color scheme is not good. It looks like from the 90s.
Maybe that's what I like about it.
Yeah, Itamar dresses like he's something from the 90s. So,
Yeah.
But no, off the bat, I think you've touched on a lot of the stuff. You know, I think it looks like a nice, cheery website. The only thing is, if you click on anything, I think the way the flow goes, where the call to action's above all of the kind of ideas.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure that that's the kind of right page layout to have. I just, you know, people are looking at that, and of course you can see that there's TikTok classes,
TikTok.
Ticky cocktail class is trying to get that off your tongue's hard. But you've got all of that stuff, and I think the call to actions on that and everything else is really good. But when you land on that initial page, I think that, click to book direct and then all the information's below. I'm just not sure the flow of that goes well. But overall, I think the website's good. It's something that you've clearly had for a couple of years, and it ranks reasonably well for some search terms and stuff like that. I think in terms of backlinks and domain authority and stuff like that, it could be doing with a bit of improvement, because the DR is only 9. I think adding a little bit more power to it is going to help it somewhat and increase. So that's something I would be looking at. A lot of your keywords, especially, obviously you're ranking well in the UK and in Ireland, and there's only a handful of keywords that are in the kind of top end of page 1. A lot of the stuff is in position 18, and even things like Crystal Maze Ireland gets 150 searches a month, and you're in position 17. So I think link building and trying to push some of that stuff up from page 2 onto page 1 really should be your main focus. I'm not sure how well the website's monetized, or if it makes big money, or whatever. It might just not be feasible to pay out for links and stuff like that. But I think you've got to try and do better than a DR9. And I was going to claim this one as my own, but I wouldn't do that to Andy Woolley. More authentic images, as they do look too much like stock images. So actually having those images from real parties and stuff like that, everyone on your homepage, you can. I would say it looks like a stock image. You want people to be falling about drunk, and give it a more authentic feel. I think people buy into people, and if they can see real images and all that kind of stuff, then I think it will also stand in good stead. But I think the concept's good, the website's good. Obviously can do with some more content and maybe a slightly different structure in terms of the flow of the information and some more backlinks. But yeah, I think it's a reasonably good job, man. Next one, Ryan Houghton, Ryan-Houghton.
This is the one we've been waiting for, isn't it, Greg?
Yes.
All right, let's give it a go.
But do not hold back.
I'm not holding back. I think Ryan knows as well. If I'm gonna, take the mick, I'm doing it because it's for his own good. Let's establish that. But anyway, let's crack on with this. So I've been on Ryan's site before. Obviously, it's a site that the kind of end user of this site is going to want to be reading these kind of things. So, driving visitors, things like you've got the CTA right off the bat. I like how it's got the custom text there. It's a lot more, direct. You've got the only thing I'd say right off the bat, you've got just the tags here. So the heading tags. So I don't know if this is so the H1 and the H2 are exactly the same. You don't really need that. But obviously you've got the form there. The other thing I would actually say is what you could change here about the contact me thing. And I'll show you my site just for comparison, because I feel like this kind of thing here is just people sometimes want more direction, if that makes sense. So if you think about the form that I use here, you've got a drop down with just the different things that you provide, right? And then you ask them for a budget and then for a message as well. So I think if you could implement something similar to that within here, I think it'll just be better in terms of how helpful it is when people actually fill out contact forms, especially for these kind of services, for website design, SEO, and these kind of things. But that's just a little thing here. Obviously, you've got descriptions of your services, and you've got separate pages for them, and you've got the content there. You should try to include some images in there, maybe some videos, testimonials, these kind of things. Even if you don't have them now, that's just obviously, have them as kind of placeholders so that you're ready to kind of add them in, because it just makes it look more real, so that people who do want these services do feel like this person has got, the credentials, it's got the testimonials on there. So I'd say, but it's good that you've got, these different service pages here. Maybe you could add more content. There's definitely more content that you can add to them as well as the images. So your blog is interesting. So I don't know if these are the featured images you've decided to use and it's just the text, but I would generally have just images in there, not just text. But I'm trying to just go back here. Do you need website design in gold mills? So the question I would have is, who's going to be looking for this type of content, right? Somebody who lives in this area, at what point are they going to search, do I need website design in like my area, right? If you see what I mean, this image, I don't think it's too relevant. This is like, if this was a website for Thorpe Park or Alton Towers, then sure. But, I don't know the area. Maybe it's an area with a bunch of, piers and theme parks or whatever. I just think the images don't really flow too well. Obviously, in terms of the actual content you've got there, there's a lack in terms of internal linking. You should really try and push the internal linking to the relevant service pages. Obviously, here you're talking about website design. Do you have an internal link that points to your website design service, right? So obviously the content, the imagery on the blogs, the featured images and the internal links is something definitely to point out. You've got a double contact thing here. So I would remove this contact bit here and just put the get in touch, because you don't want to just have that, it's a bit pointless just to add more bits from the top of the navigation bar. But, overall, I think, when we come back to the homepage, we can see you're going for a professional look. But there's just the little tweaks that I mentioned that I think would help push it further. Craig, what do you think?
Where do I start with this one? I'm going to just share my screen. Shit. I don't know why, but I've just got this real problem with sharing the screen today. So share screen, get Ryan's website up. So, pretty much, again, Itamar's covered a lot of this stuff off very nicely. I go on to the About Me page right now. You tell us a bit about who you are, and you've been doing it for 5 years, and you're based in Doncaster. Why is there no image there? Now, even Itamar has an image on his homepage, standing on steps or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be an image of a professional photographer. People buy into people, and I would want to see what you look like. I know that you may be shy, introvert, don't want your face out there or whatever. But if I was looking at that, I'd be going, this guy's got something to hide. Now, coupled with the fact that you have no address or anything in your website, just raises a concern. There's no address, no phone number, nothing there to suggest that you're actually a real business. Would I ever give you money, pay you for a service? Absolutely not. Now, I started working from home years ago, and someone said that to me. Now, I worked from home, didn't want my face out there, didn't want my home address on my website, didn't want my mobile number on my website. And someone just said to me, that just smacks of unprofessionalism. I wouldn't trust it. And I'm like, that's just harsh words. That's bullshit. Now, the minute I got an 0800 number, which forwarded onto my mobile, and I put a mailing address on the website, people started to take me a bit more serious. Then, as I say, people now buy into people. Why is there no videos on there? No nothing for you to demonstrate your knowledge. even just talking a bit about your background or how you've helped people, you know, or anything, you know, on any of these pages, you're like Google My Business page or whatever, you know, give some tips and knowledge away in a video, you know, give a little bit more away rather than say, I do that, that's my services and give me your money kind of thing. I think that's what's happening there. Certainly from an off-site point of view, you're on some Freola or whatever that is. You've got some links going on there, but your website again only is a DR of 16. Doesn't rank for a lot of stuff. Doesn't get a lot of traffic, and I know your website's probably only been live since the start of January or whatever. But I would be expecting more from an SEO guy. Now you rank position 37 for web design Doncaster. Doncaster and these kind of areas certainly are areas that are quite easy to get rankings for. And I think you need to add a lot more content locally, just capturing all the different areas surrounding Doncaster. And going back to what Itamar said on the blog, now I've got two things to suggest on the blog. I'm going to just go to the one that Itamar went to first and foremost. Look at the size of this image. Look at the size of that image. The size of that image, and then images are not consistent in size either. These are all different sizes apart from the top couple. Try and be a bit more consistent with the size of images. Try and get a template for your pages. Obviously, as Itamar said, internal linking is something you want to do to point to your pages. But when you are blogging, I'm not sure what this in gold mails is, but in terms of looking at your overall blogs, does your business need a website? How to optimize and grow your profile on eFuse. That you could get away with that one, but things like if I was to Google SEO training Middlesbrough, for example, you'll see that I'm top, and it's just a shitty blog post that says I do SEO training in Middlesbrough. Just cut to the chase, go after keywords, make it blatantly obvious that that's what you want to rank for. No one's going to do, Google what you're looking for in a lot of cases here. Does your business need a website? That page would be better suited to web design Rotherham or something, surrounding where you're based. I think even, I'm not sure where I rank for SEO Doncaster just now. I've done it to actually annoy one of your crazy guys down there, and I'm not sure if I still rank for it. I don't think I do, actually. Yeah, I'm not up there anymore. But I used to be in page 1 for Doncaster with just a page of content. That guy's off his head, Lee Stoven. That guy's not good at SEO, and if you check his stuff out, it's not great. You should be able to get up there for a lot of these kind of search terms: SEO, web design, local SEO, Doncaster, and all of that kind of stuff. And that is what my blogs would be about, is going after all of those kind of search terms and making it a lot more localized rather than just some of the stuff there. Why does your business need a website? So I think that's really important. And Ryan is obviously saying in Gold Mails is home to Fantasy Island Theme Park, which is the main search term for that area. So fair enough on the images, but web design, I would still have pictures of websites on there relating to the service. And obviously, Andy Woolley is basically giving us some feedback as well. Lovely, fast website, nicely branded, but it's a personal website without a single image of the person. And we get your shy, you may be shy, you may not want your face out there, and all that kind of stuff. But I think sometimes you just got to take that one in the chin and go for it, and do that. And hopefully some of those tips will help. And you've also got no social media links, as Andy says as well. You do want people to be able to click on your Twitter, your Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. People do their nosy. and want to see, some kind of proof that you're a real human being. So hopefully that is enough feedback for you to be able to do it. But clearly a new website and anything I can do or anything like that to help you along the way, just feel free to reach out and give me a shout. It's a good starting point, but definitely a lot of room for improvement there, mate. Liam Quick, good to see you, buddy. Any other websites you guys have got that you want us to have a look at? Oh, in fact, there was, and I've just skipped by some of it. Furquan has got adx.business.
Yeah, let me hop on that. One other thing I'd say to Ryan as well, obviously you're planning to start creating YouTube content as well. So think about how you can utilize that content and relate it to your website. So, embedding different videos into relevant blog posts, for instance, is something else you can do once you start getting those videos up there. But yeah, let's go into adx.business. Okay, hold on a second. I think this is the right site, but here we go. Let's share the screen and I'll show you what I can see. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, you've got the chatbot, which I suppose is the only contemporary thing that I can see. But this just won't cut it.
No, listen, there's something wrong here. That's not loaded properly. ADX.business. Try and reload that.
ADX.business. Let me try and open it in incognito browser. Oh wait. Oh, thank God. Can you still see my screen? For a second I was like, what?
I was going to let you rip into it for a while and then tell you that you were looking at
thank God. I'm so happy that this has sorted it. I don't know why that was like that from my normal Chrome browser. Anyway, first thing I'd say is forget everything I said up until now. The subscribe to our newsletter thing, this is the first time I'm on this website. Do I even know what you guys do? Do I need that prompt there? The push notifications, things like that, you need to go easier on it, right? So like maybe you only have it for maybe the second time somebody's on the site, maybe wait, like 30 seconds or a minute before, so let people actually look into the site first before adding the push notification there to subscribe to the mailing list. But right, here we go. So yeah, this is digital marketing solutions, software development, So let's just have a look here, for instance. Okay, we've got view detail. I don't think you'd want to use those words. Maybe learn more or something would be a better kind of CTA about this. But let's see. I mean, there's thin content on this site. Definitely, there's more to say. There's images you can add, testimonials that you can add for these service pages. Let me just make sure that it's not just one, and I'm just kind of pinpointing only one. But you've got, this is quite nice, a global presence kind of thing there. But right, so you've got the testimonials here. You've got your customers there. All right, to get in touch, and it's got this pop-up for the contact form. I like the contact form. I think it's nice that you're able to select these options. But let me just quickly go into one other service page just to see what's going on here. Search engine marketing, right? There's, still there's just not enough content in there, not enough types of content. Think multimedia, think about different images you can add, videos you can add. You've got one tab here literally with client testimonials, which I think is okay to have. And this is obviously all of them. Are people going to be reading through all of them? Probably not. Like, do you really need that there? I'm not sure. I would personally think, have a few testimonials on the homepage and have them on the service page as well. But, in terms of the way the site looks, it does look fairly professional. You've obviously got the social icons here. Let me just see if they actually work, which I don't think they do. So updating these social icons you know, somebody's going to see that and click it. They're just going to leave the site because they'll think it's not genuine. So that's why I want to quickly check even the About Us page. So it's probably a work in progress. I don't feel like this is finished by any stretch of the imagination. There's still some things you need to add. The About Us page, improve the content. I didn't take a look into all the kind of backlink profiles. So Craig, what do you have to say about this?
I'm just looking at something Andy has put in there, /shop on this website. First and foremost, yeah, the page doesn't exist. I'm not sure what Andy's on about there. I thought there was maybe something that the guy had a shop that wasn't added to the website. But in terms of the backlink profile and stuff like that, it's got a DR of 23. It's got 4 referring domains, no keywords, no traffic. You know, it's got basically all of the power comes from that one unique dynasty.co.uk domain name. The rest of them are garbage. So I think for me, this website, there's no data to work from on any of these tools. So clearly it's a newish website. It doesn't have a lot of links. Obviously that needs to improve. You know, get citations, try and get some other stuff going on with that side of business. You know, I just check where you're based. I don't know if your website tells us that, so I'm not sure where you're based, but obviously potentially set up a GMB and try and get some traffic from that. I agree with Itamar, you don't need that many testimonials, and you probably don't want to put that right up on the main navigation bar either. Something that can go down in the footer somewhere. What we do, again, I think your website looks good, looks tidy. You know, really like the kind of layout of it and stuff like that. I just think that some of your service pages are, as Itamar said, could be doing with better content, but also, you know, clearly there's no title tag on there. It's just SEO-ADX. Now, can we get more in there? We can use up to 60 characters. So better use of on page, no internal links. You know, again, you know, a lot of use of header tags, but, you know, 1 or 2 sentences, just not good enough in terms of content. And I think, you know, you could add videos here or you know, more graphics and stuff like that and really pad that stuff out. But I think in general, the website looks clean and tidy. I quite like the website. And obviously you've got your social media stuff on here as well, which doesn't work, which is not good. But again, you get stuff in the footer. I'm going to suggest that, you know, the website is a work in progress, and will be improved as time goes on, and it's just something that's been chucked out there, and is continuing to be developed while it's online. But make sure that your social media stuff works, because again, just looks poor. There's no address, no nothing. We don't know who owns it. There's no face to this business, and that's fine, but tell us who you are somewhere. No one's saying anything about who anyone is or where you're based or how we get you. You know, it's all good and well having a nice contact form on there, but, you know, if I give you £1,000, who do I chase for my money if I want it back? You know, there's no phone number, no address, no nothing here. And I think all of those things, similar to Ryan's website, need to be addressed, because I certainly wouldn't be paying an agency any money when I can't see who's who and, you know, what's going on there. There's no suggestion that you've got, you know, 1 year experience, 10 years experience or anything like that. So I think all of these kind of things are all stuff that people are skeptical, and that's the nature of this industry. We want to see more from your whether that's social media proof, video proof, or something else. And I think these are things that will potentially be added to this website. I just don't believe that that's a complete website. It's a work in progress. So
I think it's an important point you mentioned as well, that people are skeptical, especially nowadays, when you think about, how many sites there actually are on the web. And people want, especially now during coronavirus, right? People are very skeptical. People aren't, they're not happy just to splash out money everywhere, right? So, you need to give people a reason to trust you. And I think, having some information about who you are, adding a face to the website, so at least people know like who you are, where you are located, that will help in order to establish that kind of trust, which, I mean, if you want to get clients from this site, which is what you want to do, that's the kind of first thing that you need to address, really. So at least so people know who you are and where you're based and things like that, so you can help build up that kind of trust with them.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Andy Woolley also had the same kind of problem when he was trying to load up the website. Possible HubSpot issue, or check that stuff out as well, though, because it wasn't just a fluke that Itamar got it. Someone else in another part of the country has got that, and if other people are seeing that on a regular basis, obviously you want to try and have a look at that. And for Kwan, no problem at all, mate. We'll go for another one. This will probably be the last one. Sorry, LinkedIn user, it doesn't flag up your name for some reason, but they're working on whatsim.co.uk at the moment. Uncertain whether to keep the URLs the same or rename and redirect them. Help and advice. Use the URL structure. Buyer guides, for example. What would you do? So let's have a look at Itamar and see what you would do.
So whatsim.co.uk, right? So I'd imagine this is like a comparison of SIM card providers, which it is. So let's share the screen and have a look. And all right, first of all, not secure. Get that SSL. It's very, very simple, but it's a must nowadays. I mean, if somebody is looking to, for a comparison site as well, where, they do want to spend money, you need the site to be secure. So obviously right off the bat, we've just got these kind of, okay. So this might just be me. Let me just double check. Right, Craig, could you just check on your end if these pages on the site are actually loading? But for now, I'm just gonna try and take a look at this. So obviously this is sending me to, all right, so this works.
Yeah, they're working here.
Okay, so interesting. I don't know if for some reason on my end that's not working. Let me just check a look. So right, this help and advice, you've obviously mentioned the URL structure. You've got the slug there, which is buyers-guides. And, this is just a kind of piece of content here where you've got questions, and you've got, here we go, on different posts about certain questions people have. I think in general, in terms of the URL structures and when you're trying to rank for these sorts of things, I think generally speaking, you'd be wanting to be ranking your homepage more specifically for these kind of
Itamar, can I interrupt you?
Go for it.
This is the guy's old website. He doesn't want the site reviewed as such. So they're going to be renewing that. He was just looking for a specific answer to
okay.
So yeah, I'll answer the URL structure side of things.
Right. Apologies. So yeah, I think URL structure, what you've got here so far, I mean, it's not bad. I think with help and advice, which is the main thing you kind of asked for, I mean, buyer's guide, do you need that? I mean, you could just have it as advice or /help or, things like that. I don't think particularly it's a massive deal. But obviously, like Craig mentioned, if you are planning on, freshening up this site, then there are probably more critical things that you should look into. Craig, would you have anything else to add to that?
I mean, I think I would try and keep the URLs where possible, purely so that you don't lose any power and any kind of rankings. You know, trying to keep the same URL structure, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, is another story. But sometimes you're better sticking to that old URL structure rather than, you know, messing around, because you will see a decrease in something by doing wholesale changes to the URL structures. But that said, having a look at the website in general, it doesn't have a great big DR. And what I would say to anyone is, if the URL structure is not right, and you want to rectify it as part of a kind of overall overhaul of the website, then just do it and do 301 redirects. And in this instance, given the level of traffic the website gets, given the DR that the website's got, I wouldn't be scared to just do the redirect option where possible or where relevant. So if something is going to improve by you changing it to a much better URL structure, then go for it. I don't think you've got a lot to lose with that particular website. But Andy Woolley's saying as well, URLs need subdirectories removed, otherwise it's fine. But for example, your categories section. But again, it's all down to interpretation. If you do a redirect, you do lose a bit of power, put it that way, and the rankings won't remain the same. But I don't think the website's particularly powerful or particularly great, so I would just potentially go in there and just freshen shit up and just tackle it as a mean to go on going forward, rather than suffering something, you know, some old crappy URL or whatever that's not so SEO friendly. So that would be my advice on that. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Fatih Ahmed, we've got 3 minutes.
They wanted us to go through his. I was meaning to message him as well earlier, so we've got a few minutes. Do you reckon we could squeeze out one more?
He didn't. Oh, City Local Pro.
City Local Pro. Is that a .com? Let me just have a look. Well, there is a citylocalpro.com.
Fatih, if you...
Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah. If it's not, feel free to mention otherwise. I think let's squeeze out this one more and then call it a session. So City Local Pro here. So this is a directory, right? So we're finding businesses here. You've got different categories. Let me just actually have a look. It's quite interesting. So let's see, for example, SEM marketing. Right. So here's where I'm a bit confused. So this is a directory site, right? But then you offer these other services as well. And also the page speed isn't great. I mean, hopefully it's not my internet, but just a bit slow there on the way back. So we've got, you know, top rated category. Let's do accounting and tax services, for instance, just see what's going on here. Obviously this, I'm not a big fan of the main content being so thin. Maybe that's just the nature of it, but maybe it could be padded out a little bit in terms of the design side of things. But yeah, the page speed, you know, it's taking quite a while for me to load these things. But obviously this is a directory. You've got these directory listings and all that kind of stuff. But you know, I'm just a bit confused as to why you're offering these services on the same site. I don't know, Craig, do you have anything to add to that? Maybe I'm confused, or
I mean, a directory can offer multiple things, and you know, I've not had enough time to look through it to see, you know, if, I mean, you've got web development, pay-per-click, social media marketing, apps development and stuff like that. Is that all you're going to do on there, or is there going to be other stuff? You know, I don't know the answer to that question. Obviously, it's a free listing website and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to take guesses here. This website, it's a year or so old, but it has actually got a great deal of traffic and stuff like that going to it already. Ranked for 15,000 keywords, so we can kind of see the keywords and I think they're doing a great job in terms of that. City Local Pros, there's all sorts of different keywords here though: sweat, body lounge, roofing, and all of this kind of stuff. So I'm going to make the assumption that this is just a free-for-all directory where multiple businesses go on it. And obviously you can see all the kind of categories down here. I'm not a huge fan of, if I was doing a directory, I would keep it kind of niche relevant, but like to home improvements or something else. I'm just not sure of the purpose of giving people a free directory listing on here and how you monetize that and all of that kind of stuff. You clearly rank for a lot of stuff and you've got a lot of power going to the website, but and it's working for you, so it's very hard to critique. You've got orthodontists, you've got dentists, you've got all sorts on here, and you're helping local businesses. And clearly these are ranking and all that kind of stuff. But I would like to know more about the monetization model in terms of what is the purpose of this, and then I would be able to give better advice on whether this was a good or a bad job. On looking at things, the DR and everything else looks good. The traffic, referring domain names and everything else has all improved greatly since the website was launched back in 2019. Everything moves the needle. It's all American traffic and all that kind of stuff. So there's not too much to critique in terms of the website looks crap or it's not set up properly or anything like that. Because clearly it is set up properly and it's getting traffic, but I'm just not sure what you're asking here. I don't understand the business model, and I'm not then sure how to then give you feedback on that, because running a directory that gives free listings and stuff like that is all good and well, but like Andy Woolley says here as well, there's no images to the individual listings, and you need individual companies to potentially take ownership of that, otherwise it's going to be unmanageable. Who's doing what here? And obviously you're not going to take ownership of it because you're not being paid, so you really need to pass that buck on to the individual companies to take that ownership and hope that they're going to clean up your website for you and make it better, because someone's got to do that somewhere, and obviously I can't see how you're doing that with taking no payment.
Yeah. I think what you mentioned and what Andy's mentioned is correct in terms of you need somebody to take ownership. If it's not you because the monetization's not there, then that needs to be sorted out. But I'm just going to share my screen for a sec in terms of if you were trying to monetize it through selling your services, which you had on the homepage. But obviously just looking at it right off the bat, the layout's a bit weird. There's not enough content. You've got the call us on, these buttons that just don't go anywhere. So obviously if you're trying to monetize it that way by selling your services, as well as having the people just putting their businesses on there, then that's something you need to focus on more in terms of, either you're going to focus on how you can potentially monetize people who are adding their businesses, or at least, improving these service pages so people can actually contact you to use your services. Because at the moment, the only thing they can really do is go on the contact page. But, it's going to be much harder to sell these services if somebody's going for app development, for instance, and there's nothing really there that's talking too much about the service. There needs to be more if you do want to get people to give you money for this website.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of good points there, and hopefully you can come up with some of the answers there, and hopefully Andy again, put there, easy sign up, but force the visual on an upload, take a photo with your phone and upload, and all that kind of stuff. There's certainly a lot of things you can potentially force to happen, and get them doing the donkey work for you, because they're getting the free listing. So make them work for you is what I would be doing, and then build up and make it a good directory at that point with all the visuals. So good luck with it anyway. Sadly, we are out of time though. We will catch you every Thursday. We'll be doing the same thing. So we will catch you next Thursday, 2 o'clock, for more of the same. So we'll catch you all then. And thank you to everyone for your questions, your websites. And Andy, thank you very much for putting in your input. It's always very helpful. And Mr. Itamar, I know you're a busy man, so we'll let you get back off and do some work. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Cheers, guys.